Well, good morning. Good morning. Oh, there they are. Good morning. They're awake. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Dwayne Walker. I'm the Vice President and General Manager at Oversee. So I just want to welcome everybody this morning. Welcome those of you with the hangovers and coffee. Hopefully you're recharging and getting going. So how many of you attended the event last night with the space shuttle? Very cool, wasn't it? Yeah, that was a unique experience. I tell you, I got to follow it coming down the streets of Los Angeles when they were first moving it in, which was an amazing process to watch them move it down the street and then see it at its new home. So it was very, very good. So I'm very excited about that. How about the Kim event? How many of you attended the event yesterday with Kim and Deborah? Yeah, it was also a big day. Very exciting. Looking forward to hearing everybody's feedback. I thought the session was fantastic. I hope you really enjoyed it. Something we want to continue to do into the future. So I want to talk a little bit this morning kind of about our agenda for today. And today is going to be about mobile. You're going to hear some great sessions on engaging mobile users and conversions, acquiring mobile users. You're going to hear about mobile advertising trends. We're also going to have a live session coming up on landing page and site optimization. So Tim's going to grace us with some really interesting observations on actual sites from the customers here at the conference. So it's going to be a live critique. We also want to make sure that later today you attend Pitch Fest. It's going to be at, I believe, 5 o'clock. And so you get to hear about some of the new emerging opportunities and companies and ideas from some of our partners here in the space. And then we're going to have Women in Domaining. That will be at 6:30. Aaron's nodding, so far I got the 2 times right. That's Women in Domaining. That means men stay out. Just want to be clear about that session, but it's actually open for all attendees, but it is Women in Domaining. And then there's the Magic Castle event, and the buses will be leaving. I'm not sure exactly what. Between 6:15 to 7:30 time frame. So make sure you are in the lobby and catch the bus for the Magic Castle event, which is going to be very exciting. So that's something we're really looking forward to. So I certainly encourage all of you to attend that event also. And what we want to do this morning to kick things off, as I said, it's going to be about landing page optimization. It's going to be about mobile, and more mobile. But to kick things off, we're going to have Tim Ash come up. And Tim is an interesting entrepreneur. Came here from Russia many years ago. So he's going to teach me a little Russian. So maybe I'll at least be able to say a word or two at some point today. Tim is the CEO of Site Tuners. He's going to be doing some live critiquing of actual websites, as I said, and landing pages today. Tim actually wrote the official book, so when someone says he wrote the book, he actually did write the book. So on landing page optimization, this is actually the second edition of his book. He's actually got some copies over here that he's going to be autographing and making available, so make sure you see Tim about that. He's also a great photographer. He's taken a lot of great pictures at events in the past and here at the conference. And something that maybe some of you don't know is he's also, what he says he is, an amazing salsa dancer. So maybe we'll see him do a few steps for us here. So please give Tim a warm welcome here to the Webfest.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dwayne. Good morning, everybody. Oh, no. Okay, let's try that again. Good morning, Los Angeles. Good morning. Who's still in a different time zone? Okay, who went to bed after 3 this morning? Okay, thank you, Yancy. Thanks for being here. All right, this is going to be a little bit different. I was asked to do the morning because I heard some of you needed waking up, and apparently the ones of you here probably do, but the rest of you aren't even here because you're still asleep. Is that marathon third day thing? I'm going to do live critiques of websites and landing pages, and here are the rules of the game. You give me a URL, and I'll give you some free consulting. How's that? Fair deal? Anyone that volunteers their URL that I review, I'm also going to give you a copy of my book. And the rest of them at the end, I'll also just kind of raffle off and give away as well. But you're guaranteed to get one. Hopefully this is incentive if you put your URL up as a critique. Now, About the book, it's a good paperweight. It's also a non-habit forming sleeping aid. And even if you throw the book away, there's a couple of $100 of coupons, including AdWords and stuff like that in it. So even if you don't read it, you'll get a lot out of it. Now, here's what I don't want. I don't want any park pages. Who's here parking only? Okay, you have two choices. You can leave now and set up a business meeting, or you can listen really hard because you should be doing all this stuff and at least learn from other people's mistakes. Is that fair? So actual websites that you're trying to get someone to fill out a form, to download something, to buy something, those are the only rules. And I will be calling your baby ugly. In fact, I want you to raise your hands right now. Raise your hand. Come on, I can see you. Okay, raise your hands and say, my baby is ugly. No. Say it loud and proud. My baby is ugly. Okay, it's true. Okay, now how come people don't think their babies are ugly, but any parents here who think their baby is ugly? No? You ever seen ugly babies? Yeah, there's lots of them, right? Yeah, that's where all the adults come from. But yet we can't see the problems with our own ugly babies. So what I'm going to do is I already had a couple of a couple of websites submitted. Is freereport.com in the room? Okay, great. We're going to start with yours. And please email me the URL of the page you want me to look at. I can't type very well up here, and it would waste a lot of time. So tim@sitetuners.com. I'll just pull it up live from my email, okay? So just put your URL in the subject line and just email it to me right now, tim@sitetuners.com. Okay, let's start with freereport.com. What do you guys think? I like a lot of things about this. It has a clear headline, get your free credit score. Get it now. Okay, that's a call to action. It's very imperative, and that's good. But I also have a big problem with this page. Who's looking at the United Colors of Benetton people? Come on, we all are, right? You are, Aaron? Okay. You know what? They're attractive models. They're beautiful. They're looking at me. When a beautiful woman smiles at me, I have an automatic reaction. I look at her and smile back. Now, when you're looking at those folks, are you looking at the button? Are you reading any of the text on the page? You're not, right? Pictures of people are a really high-risk thing. On the one hand, you can build empathy and a connection to your brand. On the other hand, it's going to waste attention, and it's going to suck attention to the other side of the page. So you literally have the picture on one side of the page and the call to action on the other. The picture is not reinforcing the call to action. It's a gratuitous stock photo. Or as a friend of mine describes it, it's the equivalent of business porn. And you're just like, okay, you want the iStock photo or Getty Images, and you got an image. Congratulations. Any of us can do that, right? Does it have anything to do with the free credit score? No. But they sure have white teeth, don't they, folks? Do you see what I'm talking about? So be careful of pictures of people. There's actually, most of your brain is involved in visual processing of one sort or another. But there's a special section in your midbrain, your kind of emotional brain, close to your memory formation centers, that's there just to recognize faces. And it works twice as fast as the other kind of object recognition parts of your brain. So we get a lot of information about the environment. Should I fight with these people? Should I run from them? Should I mate with them or eat them? Whatever. Those are like the primitive things that my reptilian brain is thinking. Okay? What it's not thinking is, unlimited TransUnion credit scores. Because that part of my mind's not being activated by pictures of people. Wait, was that brutal enough? Consulting through insulting. I mean, you want the book, this is what you have to go through. Okay. By the way, if you think I'm full of it, which is a really high probability, just tell me, challenge me. We'll do some open Q&A at the end if we have a little time as well. Okay, our next contestant. Freecoupons.com. Okay, two sites from the same person. Aaron? Hey. Okay, what should you do in place of that image? Okay, well, your graphic designer will probably tell you to put a rotating banner ad in there. Don't do that, okay? That's just, they're frustrated artists. They have to do web design for a living, but you don't have to do anything. It's okay to take things off your page. That's my point. Unless a graphic or image or something that draws attention actually supports your call to action, you should take it off the page. So let me show you an example. Let's, I like to say in the ad business, think that we eat our own dog food. So here's our website. Now at the top, it's got my ugly bald head. That's very deliberate because right next to it's a call to action. So whatever page you're on, that's our generic call to action in the header. Okay, put us to work. And so that's using graphics to support that. So let me go deeper into the site. For example, if we here, just find a page that's got one of these supporting graphics. So oh, that's not it. Bear with me one sec. So, okay, so if we have a page and it has a graphic in the middle of it, now I'm just looking at the body, and right below that is the action button. Do you see how your eye anchors on an image on a page full of text, and then the call to action is right below it? So you can use graphics to draw attention to the call to action or embellish it, but you shouldn't have it on a separate part of the page. That's my main point, okay? It has to support the call to action. Okay, so freegrocerycoupons.com. Okay, a couple of things here. The production quality, this kind of looks like a homemade site. I mean, no offense, but, it's what? A blog site. I'm not sure what that means, but, I mean, it looks like, your 15-year-old nephew took a web design course, did it. I'm sorry, but okay, just the overall first impression. One thing you need to understand is that first impressions of your landing page or website are formed very quickly. We're talking, anybody want to guess, in fact? A second, 3 seconds, anyone else? 500 milliseconds. That is exactly 10 times too long. 50 milliseconds, 1/20th of a second, and your brain already automatically knows if that landing page is cheesy or professional, or where it lies on that spectrum, okay? So I look at kind of the combination of fonts, colors. You can't trick this stuff. You know it when you see it. I mean, my PR people tell me I have to wear the monkey suit to make that first impression anytime I speak. Tonight I'll be dressed very differently, but that's okay. It's a different setting. So when I show up here and I'm judging you on professionalism and are you credible, should I waste any of my precious attention being on your site, you're not passing the smell test. The fonts are very different. The pictures are a little tacky. You have that double line around the call to action box. You have literally wallpaper on the sides of the page. And all of that doesn't fit together, unfortunately. So kind of take the professionalism level up. There's a lot of folks in my home country of Russia and Brazil and India that are willing to do really nice web designs on Elance or any of these other crowdsourced sites. For a few $100, you can get a really nice page done. No excuses anymore. The wallpaper. One thing you don't want to do, I like what you've done because the inside of the page is lighter and the sides are darker. You have clearly a fixed width page with darker sides. That's great because you want to focus attention in the middle of the page. Unfortunately, you have visual interest on the sides, those little crop circles or whatever they are, right? I'm looking at those. That's intricate, interesting detail to my mind, and my visual system automatically kicks in and says, hey, what is that? Are those objects? Which are in front of others? What's their relationship? What are they? And all of that is just unnecessary kind of information. Does that have anything to do with getting them to fill out that form? No. So unembellish them. And when I say boring sides, I mean boring sides. You see, is there any reason to look at the sides of this page? No. It should be darker, but it should also be completely unornamented. Free grocery coupons, start saving money. Okay, one thing I'd like to know is where these are good for. Are they manufacturer ones? Are they good at any grocery store? So as trust here, I would put logos of companies. Trust is very important, and visual brands and their seals and their logos have been drummed into our heads with hundreds of millions, in many cases, of ad dollars. So you want to take advantage of that. You kind of want the halo effect of their brands accruing to your site. And this could be used in consumer or business-to-business setting. So in this case, coupons from Kraft and Nestle and who else do you have coupons for? I mean, a bunch of them, right? So can you just throw those logos up there? Or redeemable at Vons and Kroger and A&P or whatever the national chains are, or the regional chains, if you can determine where this person is coming from. Okay, then it's great. I know I can go to the store and I can get it redeemed. Okay, accepted at all major chains, including logo, logo, logo. Visual trust marks are a very quick way to establish trust. And again, I'm just going to ping pong back and forth because I just wanted to see, like I say, that we're doing this. But if you come to Site Tuners and you say, hey, are we good enough to work with you? Well, yeah, because we work with Expedia, Norton, and Sanyo, and Intuit, blah, blah, blah. You see, it doesn't have to be in your face. Those are grayscale, non-clickable, low contrast. But it has to, we're doing it to transfer trust from those brands and the fact they work with us to our brand. And that's what you should be doing as well. How many people use your site? Okay, 10, 20,000 a day for how long? No. For how long did you get those traffic levels? Well, just guess. A year? All right. No, it's a year. Okay. If you've had 10,000 people a day come for a year, you have 3 million satisfied users. You with me? If you came to this site and you say, well, should I use this coupon site or probably a better known one? I don't know, coupons.com. I'm just guessing, right? That's what probably. But then you need to establish the credibility. Oh, a lot of people have done this. A lot of people just like me have done this. That serves as a shortcut to my own decision making. By knowing that people have had a good outcome, I don't have to think about it. Like let's say you're walking down Wilshire and there's a couple of restaurants next to each other. One's got a line out the door and the other one's empty. Which one are you going to go to? The full one, right? Because you have social proof. You have people waiting to get in there. Must be good. Oh, I'll go in line. And by the way, I'm from Russia, so homie don't queue. I'll never wait in a line to get into a restaurant. Just me. But most of us will. And it's that kind of, I don't want to think, I want to be on autopilot. We do 95% of our daily actions subconsciously or preconsciously on autopilot. Anybody can drive to work last week and not know how you got there? You're hurtling in a vehicle, right, from Malibu down these twisty canyon roads. You could take out somebody in a heartbeat, and you're thinking about, which email am I going to answer first when I get into the office, right? And we do that, and it's great because it saves us the expensive thing, which is really consciously thinking about stuff. But you can take advantage of that by understanding that the most of the brain is on autopilot. Okay, most of the brain doesn't want to think. So again, visual badges, social proof, large numbers of people doing it saves me from having to think. That's why we only the brand leaders in any given category take the lion's share of the profits. It's inevitable. Look at any market, right? There's the 800-pound gorilla. There's maybe a couple of chimps, and then the rest of the monkeys are fighting for scraps at best. But none of them are actually making a profit. And so that's because we only have a couple of slots in our heads for a particular brand. Toothpaste, yell it out. Crest. Colgate, Crest Colgate, that's it. Go to the toothpaste aisle and see how many hundreds of brands there are. But you're thinking Crest and Colgate. That's the power of that. Luxury automobile. Mercedes, BMW, Lexus, okay. Coffin manufacturers. Not so much, right? Actually, it's Costco. They're the biggest coffin manufacturer or seller in the country. Yeah, bizarre but true. But my point is, if you have familiarity with the brand category, you're going to have maybe 2, 3 rungs on that brand ladder. And this is stuff Reese and Trout talked about 25 years ago. Great little book called The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. If you don't have it, go get it. But the same way, you have to kind of cut through the clutter and be seen as that number 1 or number 2 guys. Jack Welch at GE, when he took over the business, he said, any business we can't be 1 or 2 in within a couple of years, we're selling. And that was the reason, because you know that it's very hard to make money as the number 3. All right, let's see. Has anybody submitted any? Yes, okay, famous birthdays. I don't guarantee I'll do these in any particular order. And remember, if you did get critiqued, you will get a copy of my book, so come on up at the end. Famousbirthdays.com. Okay, what do you want people to do on this site? Whose site is this? What do you actually want people to do?
Enjoy the content. So maybe if you click on one of the people, you can see like that's where most people land.
Okay, so they wouldn't really land on this page. They'd click on.
Stay on the homepage, but not as much.
Okay, so enjoy the content.
Or stay on the site longer and get a good experience. Not bounce back to Google.
Not bounce back to Google. Okay, well, those are, I don't know, there's no kind of direct call to action, so I'm struggling a little bit. I don't want to kind of hammer this to fit. One thing, though, is if a lot of your sites are content-driven, that probably means that you have ads on them. So I can make a couple of general comments about ads. Does anyone know what this site is when you show up? No, because it's about Eve Retribution. Play now. You with me? That brand is kind of shoved off into the corner. You don't really know where the page begins. And in this prime real estate, you're giving them that banner, which may be okay if you're completely ad-supported. But I would argue that you have to, if you do have some ad-supported sites, put some limits on the advertisers and what they can do, and basically try to shove the advertising into less prominent locations, maybe the right rail as a vertical skyscraper instead of up there in that prime real estate. Also, I noticed when we first came to that site that that was an animated banner. And I've talked a little about the visual system, but I want to just have a special shout out for motion. How many, see that banner ad? It just like the letters are zooming, stuff's moving. Are they looking at Ashton or Chris Rock? No, because whoa, there's crap going on up there, right? You have two types of visual systems. You remember like 7th grade biology? Put your arm out at at arm's reach and look at your thumbnail. Go ahead, do it. I can see you, really. Okay, your thumbnail's the only thing in focus. Everything else around it is actually blurry. For fine vision, you have 2 degrees of your visual field, and you have to move that expensive eye hardware around to actually distinguish fine detail. But now do this. Put your arms out like this. Okay, don't slap the person next to you. Okay, look straight ahead and wiggle your fingers forward. Can you see your fingers? Like 180 degrees? Okay, you can't? Okay, macular degeneration, I'm thinking. So have it checked out. Most of us have 220 degrees of visual acuity for motion detection. Rods and cones, okay, this is, so, tiger! Okay, did you guys freak out? Did you want to know what I was up to? Did you want to know if I was going to shank you in the prison shower? Any of those things, right? Okay, but we need to detect danger, and if something is rapidly changing in our visual scene, we have to react. We can't not react. That part, that survival part of the brain, the reptilian part, doesn't learn, folks. It does stuff the same way. Try going to a doctor, and he hits your knee with the rubber mallet not to kick it up. You can't. It's the same thing. The reptilian brain does the same thing every time. Hot stove. Oh, should I think about pulling my finger away? No, you just do it, right? Has survival value. And so visual changes are really, really powerful. That's the equivalent of dropping a hand grenade into your page. Nothing's going to withstand the blast radius. And I don't care if it swooshes, swirls, dissolves, fades, or whatever. If it's changing, I need to know about it. And then I kick it upstairs to my kind of thinking brain, if you will, and I go, oh, that's just another dumb rotation of the banner ad. Let me go back to doing whatever I was doing on the rest of the page. Whoops, my attention's drawn back to it. Every time it changes, it yanks my attention back violently. You may not think of it, and we think we're good at dismissing it, but we can't ignore it, okay? So get rid of motion on your page, especially if it's going against your intended purpose. Okay? Okay, whose site is this? Tim, are you here? Okay, Tim, what do you want him to do on this page? Uh-oh, that sounds like a preemptive excuse. Okay, nice try. We're about to redesign it. Okay, all All right, so too many goals for the page, but let's talk about it. Let me just do some quick triage on it. The thing at the top below your domain name where it says Apple owns apple.com, what else? Looks like an ad. Is that an ad on your own site? Yeah, but the problem is it looks like you're cheesy. The perceived value, what you have to offer, goes down to me when I see an ad-supported site. That means you can't really make money on whatever it is you actually do, so you're forced to sell people ad space. I don't know that that's your ad or takes me to a place on your site. It's also in a very non-standard place, kind of wedged between the header and the nav. So it's really bizarre. And then it's this cryptic question. It's the biggest font on the page, and it begs me to look up there, but what's it doing there? Is that the most important thing? It didn't sound like any of those 3 things you said you wanted me to do are involved with that. And yet, my God, 72-point type, right? Huge. Another thing, just overall production quality, I would say there's kind of an unfinished, a little bit rough look to my eye to this site. You know, it's probably at least 3-4 years old, like you said. You know, I know you're about to redesign it, but there's, again, no excuses for not having good production quality on websites anymore. You really have to take the polish level up and be consistent. Yeah, well, we can deconstruct it, and we can talk about it. It's the combination of fonts, it's the colors you're using, it's the extreme contrast, it's the tacky little toolbox image near the lower right. You know, okay, yeah, 3D clip art, I get it, but why do you want me to look at that? That's a little strange. So it's a combination, it's just things not fitting together, I would say. For example, you have navigation here where the open tabs are dark. The rest of them are lighter, you see. Over here, you have this internal navigation bar where the open tab is light. So there's like no consistency. There's a bunch of little inconsistent things. And so, again, we know it when we see it, but you have to sweat the details. The polish level stuff really matters, because otherwise it's death by 1,000 cuts. Why in the middle of this bold sentence, which is kind of your pseudo headline, do you go, most comprehensive in green? I don't know. Your font designer was bored, right? I don't know. There's a lot of text on this page. One thing we know from research, Jacob Nielsen, who's keynoted our first conversion conference about 4 years ago, he's done study after study after study on this. People don't read on the web. You want your conversion rate to go up? Cut back the text. Be a ruthless editor. Somebody once asked Mark Twain to do a presentation, and he said, well, how long does it have to be? And the person said, well, why does that matter? And he said, well, if it's an hour-long presentation, I'm ready to go. If it's a 30-minute presentation, I'll need a week to prepare. And if it's a 5-minute talk, I'll need a month. You know, there's something really powerful in that. Do the hard work. You have to edit your own stuff. You have to be a word miser. You have to tell me clearly what I'm supposed to do. And it's okay to have detailed information. You can say more details, and that's a link. But don't bury me in reading this, because how many of you saw the old Charlie Brown cartoons when you were kids? Like the teacher's talking at the front of the room. What do the kids hear? Yeah, wah, 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 right? That trombone sound. Well, writing in complete sentences and paragraphs is the web equivalent of that. It's wah, 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 wah. Nobody's reading it, okay? So don't bother. Clear headlines, a clear font hierarchy in terms of, you know, what's important on the page. Again, just is it clear what the headline on this page is? Is it clear what the subheadlines on this page are? You see how, and then the body copy. Do you see how we kind of even exaggerate the difference in font sizes to help organize it for you? Newspaper style, big headlines, subheadlines, body copy, so you can quickly find the information you need if you are going to read. But most of it, don't use complete sentences, bullet lists, links. Most people are looking for images or links to click on, okay? These tiny reverse text, by the way, just a couple of quick words on fonts and text. Don't use reverse color fonts. It's a general rule. Lighter on darker. Sorry, yeah. Don't use serif fonts. The ones that have the little curly cues like Times Roman. Those are great for print and high resolution, but they suck for the web. So use basically even width fonts, Helvetica, Arial. That's why those are kind of the default for web browsers. And don't use all capitals either, because those are harder to read. Except, if it's a single word like free, okay, I get that. But on here on the top nav, I wouldn't use all capitals because it makes it harder to pull out letter shapes for people. The tops and bottoms of the letters are all at the same height. Okay, so just some tips on that. All right. I like this because we are taking advantage of a convention, which is those Facebook-style kind of postage stamp size videos with a play button on it. Okay, but that's a little bit of a lost opportunity because you actually have a frame of your video and then you put the play button over it. Custom design that graphic to be visually interesting and appropriate. Don't just grab an actual frame out of your video. Make it draw the right amount of attention, maybe put a person in it or whatever if you want them to view the video. Okay, but I like that you're doing it in a kind of, you're going to pop it up in a light box, pop over and show them a nice high resolution experience. So that's really good. All right. Somebody, whose is this? My baby is ugly. Okay, well, the first step is admitting you have a problem. Whose is this? Okay, great. What do you want people to do here?
Find a store for the product they're looking for.
Okay, I see a little animated gnome. Remember we talked about motion? That's a problem, just right away. Look, something's moving over there. What is it? I don't know. Do I run away from it or fight it? That's basically what I'm thinking. I'm going to fight the gnome. I'm going to win, too. It's not my weight class. My problem, oops, I know what just happened. I think I clicked on something by accident. Yep. So you basically want people to click through to a store, right? To me, the page is a little unclear because the actual what's this page about is hidden up there, kind of in the breadcrumbs area, or you need a clear page title. Every page needs a clear page title, centered, large, and in charge, okay? And it should say, women's heeled boots. And then underneath it, you can put 799 results for $25 to $200. My problem with your page is this. Oh, it keeps going and 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 going. Anybody think that might be a little too much choice? No? Yes?
I like pages like that because it gives you the impression that there's an awful lot to choose from.
Okay.
Shopping message.
So I went to high school in New Jersey and got a scholarship at University of California, San Diego, and we drove across the country, 3,000 miles, my dad and I. Would it be okay if someone dropped us off in Oklahoma City and said, walk the rest of the way to San Diego? No, I agree. But that's what you're doing by making pages like this. Remember, the most precious thing you have, we live in an attention economy, is my conscious attention. And if you really think I'm going to wade through all of that BS and go through it, how many people go onto the second page of search results on Google? Anybody know? What percent of people go onto the second page? 5%, yeah, we're in the ballpark, okay? Let me put it another way. 95% of people will never go to the second page. And even on the first page, there's a strong ranking order. If you have things in a vertical list, there's a strong bias towards those top spots, okay? So in effect, I can tell you, if I ask somebody, and I've done enough eye tracking and usability studies, it's really boring to watch those videos, but if someone came to this page and you ask them, quick, how many women's boots do they sell? You know what they'd say? 6. And you go, what are you, an idiot? Can't you see the scroll bar? Well, no, maybe you're the idiot for putting it below the fold and not making it discoverable. If it's not in my awareness, I'm not even going to kind of look down there. Only 15% of people will scroll on a typical web page. Let me put that another way, too. 85% of people will not know you have more than 6 products. Is that okay with you? So if you really are value added, and I know you're trying to say, okay, great, I can get people to shop on this site, I can direct them down to products, but you have to have a little more value add, folks. Think, last year I talked about kind of going up the food chain, stop parking, start kind of creating actual value and selling leads or actual sales. This is a good first attempt, but you need to kind of clarify it. Do you guys work together, right, on that site? Okay, now you're a woman, these are women's boots. Are there meaningful distinctions in women's boots that you would care about? Is it short or long boot, right? Ankle length or one of those like riding boot things, right? Hey, I can't stand on 4-inch heels. I mean, I've tried, but it's just not a good look for me. But you probably have a preference as to what heel size you wear, right? Short heels, tall heels, like Vegas stripper heels. Those are, so when you can have reasonable distinctions and high-level categories, so it's your job to organize the information for me. Maybe don't dump me on the product level. Create a hierarchy, add some extra value, tag these things as being, kind of tall boots, short boots, tall heel, short heel, and then say which of those 4 combinations or 4 paths do you want to go down. So maybe this should be just a page with 4 category level images instead of individual products. Because this is the web equivalent of you going, you throw up all over me and you go, you clean up the mess. So, I mean, here, let me give you an example. I rarely find good sites, but this one I've enshrined as an actual positive example in my book. Okay, so the homepage of B&H Photo Video, they sell a lot of different stuff. Now, if you look at the body of the page, probably the 100,000 items they sell have been reduced down to category level images, right? Never mind their top nav or any of this business, but if you just look at the body, 12 images. Do they have laptops? Cameras? Flat screens? Wow, you guys are geniuses. How'd you know that? Okay, but you see what they did? They took an image, which, by the way, gets processed 400 to 500 times faster than letters, and anchored your eye on it. Okay, that's a big flat screen TV. And you know what? These are mutually exclusive categories. I'm not going to miss anything by looking at other parts of the page. This is the only part that talks about flat screens. Then below it, they have a label that says home entertainment. Good, I'm there. For the advanced users, they have some common, most popular subcategories. So you can drill down 2 levels in navigation. But what they don't have on this page, folks, and is really important for those of you operating catalog type of things, is they don't have product level stuff. So if that's search results for women's boots, you have to think, how can I add value to that instead of just giving it to me in the raw? Okay. Create some more kind of hierarchy or knowledge around it. It's okay to have a couple of clicks. How many of you have heard that if it's more than 3 clicks from the landing page, it's an awful, really evil thing? Anybody heard that? It used to be kind of this old saw. Well, it's actually bullshit. There's a whole academic field called information foraging theory. A guy named Peter Paroli is kind of the exponent of it. And basically, I'll give you the cliff notes. He says, as long as I feel I'm getting closer to my goal, I'll take that step forward. So here's the carrot. I'm right here. Oh, okay. Okay. Carrot's getting closer. But you see the carrot's actually moving too. They move me through this whole sequence of clicks. That's okay, as long as each one involves simple, small number of choices. And I feel I'm getting to something more relevant and specific and on target for my intent, what I'm looking for, okay? So organize information, create hierarchies, create images like this, which are, you see all those are composite images. You're not going to confuse that with an individual product. They're all kind of showing 2 or more diverse products in that category. So there's a kind of property of, I know it's not a real word, categoriness to those pictures. Okay? You should be doing the same to get that concept across. Okay? Vehicleupgrade.ca, eh? Who's this? Our Canadian friends? We love the 51st state, by the way. Oh, okay. Okay, what do you want people to do here?
Well, it's a destination URL, so it's tied to offline marketing, campaign branding.
Okay, so campaign branding, what's the branding? What's the intent of people coming to this page?
Upgrading the vehicle.
Okay, upgrade your vehicle. Rotating banner ad. I know, it's hard to avoid, right? It's that motion. If you want to see a gallery of pictures of the car, if you're upgrading to the Genesis particular or the Accent or whatever, it'd be nice to say, find out more about the vehicles. And you have either, kind of light box pop-ups that talk about each one or even dedicated pages off of there. But to put them in a rotating category, I can't visually inspect them. Well, you're going like, yeah, I know, I think you're full of shit, Tim, right? But let me ask you a question. Do you like watching commercials? No, and don't say Super Bowl. I know that was last week. Okay, but Does anybody like watching commercials? No. They're a waste of our time. And we don't expect them in the context of the web. So when you have a slider with several frames like this, or a rotating banner ad, let's just time it. Okay, that took about 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, maybe 5 frames at 4 seconds apiece. Do you know how long 20 seconds is in internet time? We have the attention span of a lit match, folks. We're not going to sit through that. So your stuff isn't discoverable. I don't know that you have the Tucson, Sonata, Elantra, or whatever the other one is, because I didn't, Accent, there you go, because I didn't sit through that whole commercial. And then in the middle, you don't talk about a car model, you talk about financing or something. So this is an example of, if something's important, it deserves static real estate on the page. Okay, it's up to you to prioritize and be the editor and give it the emphasis it deserves. Don't use gimmicks like banners. Yep.
So they already know what they're there for. That's just a filler. It's bullshit. It's just to have it. It is a distraction. Maybe it's bad, but we're converting a high percentage of buyers, 20 to 40%.
Well, if they're super qualified and you're getting them from good offline lists, I'll buy the high.
Fair to get a voucher. So
Okay.
really what I wanted to ask you then is maybe we should just have that voucher.
You should have a row of cars. It's okay to say this is vouchers for Hyundai cars. Okay, and here's the whole product lineup. You know, huh? Static image, and then a big ass, pardon me, headline that says, "Get your voucher now." And that's the reason for me to invest the time to fill out your overlong form that you're going to sell as a lead to a dealer, right? It's all cool. I like business models like that.
When you finish that, you hit submit, you get a voucher.
You get a voucher, great. And then you take it into a dealer, you print it out, it gets emailed to you. That's fine. By the way, though, as long as we are on the overlong form, they probably told you all of those fields are required, right? Or,
No one's telling me it's required. It's just what we capture.
oh, I'm going to make you a lot of money, sir. Get rid of all the fields that aren't required.
There are obviously name, email, phone.
Good. I would think somebody would want that as a lead. But let me ask you a question. Like, if you ask me, Tim, take a standing broad jump. Okay, it's 1 foot. Can you do that? Yeah, okay. Take a 3-foot standing broad jump. Okay, all right. Take a 10-foot standing broad jump. I don't know. Was that good? Yeah. My fencing days are coming in, yeah. Saber team captain. Now, Tim, take a 30-foot standing broad jump. Not even going to try it, right? Why not? It's too much work for not enough perceived value. There's always this equation in people's minds of, is this worth the hassle? Is this worth my time, my attention, my investment to get whatever it is? So you have to build up the value proposition and unbalance the scales in your direction. Free voucher, what's the voucher for? Is it a dollar amount?
Yeah,
How much?
between $1,000 and $2,000.
Between $1,000 and $2,000. Get your voucher.
Specific to that campaign, so it's going to be $2,000.
Okay, great. Get $2,000 saved on your next car. Get your free voucher, right? That's the headline. That has value. And then the form, which, by the way, I can't even see the call to action button at the bottom of it because it's so long. Below the fold, that's evil. And then you get down, and it's in lower left instead of lower right, and it says, submit. Ooh, that's powerful. It's like, how many of you have forms that say submit? Come on, be honest. This is like a self-help group here. Okay, yeah. The way to think about it is when you push a button or click on a link, you don't know what's going to happen. So you need to assuage the person's fear and tell them exactly what's going to happen. What? Get my voucher, get my printable voucher, or email me my voucher, right? Whatever the actual response mechanism that you're going to use to get it to them, then they know what's going to happen. And they still see the value of doing it. And then basically on direct response pages like this, we recommend doing what we call the Holy Trinity. Any direct response page has a page headline, which tells you the global scope and what it's about. Then it has an action block with the form, say, which has its subheadline, which tells you what's going to happen if I interact with this form. And then the call to action button, which is going to say what's in it for me, or what happens immediately when I push this button. Those three have to not only be there, they have to be hierarchically right, big headline, clear call to action block somewhere on the page with a subheadline and a button. That's the order we'll experience them in if you do the right visual emphasis. But they also have to align thematically, broad to medium to narrow, okay? And have a consistent message. So here, Get 2,000 off on your Hyundai. Instant online voucher. Get it now. Now, do you see that messaging and how it would all tie together? The Holy Trinity. Page headline, action block, subheadline, call to action. And by the way, submit is just wrong on so many levels. The way you should think about buttons is they should complete my intent, what I'm trying to do. So the button should say, I want to ... Right? I want to get my voucher now. Okay? Get my instant voucher. Okay? But it's not submit unless you're into well, never mind, kinky S&M stuff. It's like, I want to submit. Okay. Yes, Mistress Dominatrix. I don't know. I don't get it. Yes, I told you it was going to be one of those sessions. I warned you, so. I think, yeah, actually, it's hosting.co.uk. Whose site is this? Are you from the UK? From Germany, cool. I'm going back to Berlin in November for our conversion conference. Anybody here from England? Germans are much more fun than the English in my experience. Never thought I'd say that, but it's true. Okay. I know, let me do the disclaimer. Deborah's in the audience kind of grinning in pain. None of these are the opinions of the conference organizers. Okay. No, okay, we were not going to talk too much about the rotating slider or the banner ad on top. You have two types of motion, swipe to the side, and then the countdown clock, it's doomsday or whatever. It's good to use urgency, but do I need to know, given that there are 21 days still to the offer, exactly how many seconds are left? Thank you, Mr. Spock. That's very precise, but I don't know. That's a bad use of kind of, what you need is a short time frame. Whatever offer you have better be ending within 72 hours, okay, or less. Today, 3 business days, something like that, okay, limited time, expires Friday this week, okay, that's what should be up there. Okay, I can't read your messages because they're whizzing by way faster than I can even kind of understand them. And again, I already told you the visual problems with sliding banners. The other is an editorial problem. This is like a site with schizophrenia because you don't know what message is important. Affordable web hosting packages for all your needs. Wait for it. Feature-rich reseller hosting, perfect for hosting multiple websites. Okay, let me give you a clue. You have 2 audiences. One of them doesn't give a shit about the message for the other one. True? Reseller hosting versus end consumer hosting, right? So this page could be very easily redone, saying, hey, I want a website, or I want to resell websites. And that doesn't mean they have to necessarily have equal emphasis on the page, whatever kind of supports your business mix and visual emphasis. But a lot of times, landing pages or home pages are about self-selection. Let me raise my hand. Let me tell you who I am. Let me go down a path that's relevant to me. Then you don't have to guess at which message is going to be appropriate. You know, because if I click on the I want to resell hosting, then you can talk to me about reselling hosting. It's a beautiful thing, and it's targeted, and it's relevant. And I don't care how much your consumer plans cost. And you just wasted my time having me wait for that reseller thing to go by to even click on it or become aware of it. So role-based or task intent-based self-selection is really powerful. Give me 2 to 4 choices and have me get off that page. That's okay. Have me take that click. 4 choices, no more than that. We can hold 4 items in short-term memory. Okay? It's like phone numbers are chunked into groups of 4 at most. That's our working memory. We can't hold any more than that without forgetting something. Okay? I'm not a big fan of this kind of clip-arty stuff to emphasize features of what you do. And there are a couple of reasons. One is from an editorial standpoint, those don't even look like they came from the same clip art set, right? You have kind of monochrome, stylized, a world with a really heavy drop shadow, and bright orange for the first time introduced in a graph, which goes up and to the left. Is that a German thing? Doesn't make me feel good. Alles klar. 9. Okay. But why do you need me to? Again, the images should support the actual. What is that part of the site doing? So, usually you have the image and then the text underneath it. You're kind of saying, look at the image and then go back up, which is not something people typically do. So you don't need to decorate. I've seen people decorate bullet lists with little green check marks or even a little icon for each bullet. So you're having me learn this whole complicated language. And again, my visual attention is being drawn to those elements for basically no reason. So dumb it down, make it boring, and create a good visual hierarchy with just fonts is fine. Okay. Okay. Yourgiftcard.ca. Oh, there's another one of your sites, sir? Okay. Giant distracting background image. We talked about this with one of our clients, Whistler.com, their destination site for a ski area. But they had these beautiful snow-capped mountains, and they even had them shine through partially through the other elements in the middle of the page. It's like, you don't want me looking at that stuff. And you decorated, you're having me look at zoomy stuff. Look at all that. Look at it going by. Wow, I must be in a Ferrari. But I'm not reading your text when I'm doing that. Your gift card. Okay. Your gift card. Please enter the access code. Okay, so this is just to redeem an invitation. Okay. It should look like a standard web page with your gift card in the upper left, because that's kind of your logo and where we anchor our experience, okay? And then you say enter code here, not a tiny little gray enter code on the left, and then enter on the bottom. It looks like you have kind of two bookend buttons or something. Enter code or enter, those are my two options. I don't really kind of understand that. So buttons should look button-like. By the way, if you do have a direct response page like this, experiment with the text of the button, but also its presentation. How big it is, how gel it is, how 3D it is, what color it is, all of that stuff, because you get radically different response rates, surprisingly, with different button presentations. But at the minimum, they should basically look like buttons, which that doesn't. Okay, to me. So if you're asking me to do one simple thing, which is enter a code, but okay, then what? It looks like I have two nice bookends on a gray field. It doesn't even look like a text input field to me. Show Monkey, who says this? Okay, what do you want him to do on this page?
I want to sign up and try it for free.
Great. Hey, it means no, not a problem. It's free, except for who's looking at the big monkey head? Who's looking at the tiny pink button? Who looked at the monkey head first? Put the monkey head above the button if you're going to keep the monkey head. I mean, you already have it for branding up here. Show monkey, to have another giant one here just hanging out with a lot of white space and around it is actually pulling me away from both the headline and the button that you say you want me to push. Okay, then it says, this is a good image. Watch it anywhere would be kind of a key feature I would think that somebody doing this would want. Watch it on any device, so I would kind of promote that to the higher above the fold area, okay? No one's going to even know this stuff exists because they're not going to scroll down that far. And the one thing that I want to understand is the breadth of stuff you offer. So unlock top US TV, movie, and music streaming sites. Can you talk about which ones they are? It depends. Okay, so you said you had the logos from Netflix and Hulu. Again, it depends on how you do it. If they were presented like this, grayscale, non-obtrusive, then it wouldn't really distract. But you need some credibility. Watch which TV shows. I don't even understand what you're giving me access to. Of course, you mean this tiny text in the header in reverse color that nobody's reading? Because they're looking at the giant monkey head? If you want to indicate a video and you actually want me to watch now, then it should be, again, I would recommend a thumbnail size video. So here, let me, I don't know what's going to happen when I click on watch now. But again, popular shows, this is the kind of stuff that people are there for. They want to know what they have access to. And you know what shows are most popular. That's easy information to get. So you should say, check out available TV shows if that's what I'm into. Check out available movies if that's what I'm into. And you should give me a sample in the depth of your content. Otherwise, I don't even think of your brand. I go to Netflix or I go to Hulu or I steal my mother-in-law's HBO Go password, but I'm not going to go to your site. Got it. Okay, thank you. I got it. Okay, so this is unblocking it or kind of bypassing it so it looks like you're coming from a US address. Okay, got it. So then the headline is really weird to me. I don't get that. Did anyone understand the business model? Watch your popular video sites outside, when you're outside of the US. You be clear about what it is you actually offer. Did anybody else get that before he said it? Understand the business model? No. So you have a major kind of explaining what it is you actually even offer issue, and that needs to become a much better headline. Okay. Traveling abroad, watch your US video streaming sites. Okay? Yep, okay, thanks, Aaron. One more. Okay, this is, whose is this? Mr. Attorney in the back? Yes. Okay. Did anybody know this is a legal website, a law firm? No. It's cute. It's got puppy dogs or Dalmatians shedding spots. It has a big orange push pin. Has new deals recognition. Distressed debt outlook 2013. Lots of little globes. It doesn't tell us who you are. Now you expect your brand to be that strong. I know you guys are a leading law firm. In fact, I pick on your previous site in my book, I believe. But you should say, well, Bill, you tell me in one phrase what you do. A top international law firm. Okay, a top global law firm. Okay? Would that be clear to everybody? You need often a tagline under your logo to tell me what you do, and do it in plain English. Don't give me any of that marketing happy talk. Just say it like it is, okay? A top global law firm. Okay? Positioning is really important. For some reason on this new design, you chose to make it a fixed size, and I don't mean just fixed width. You're trying to fit everything above the fold, which I guess is good, but this is something that might look good on an iPad or a tablet. I don't know if you were designing for that specifically, but for regular web experience, it's almost like you kind of cramped it down into this arbitrarily small thing. You're not giving yourself a lot of area to work with, so that's going to be a problem. There's no page headline. Again, your page headline on your homepage of your site should often be a restatement or expansion of that tagline that we were talking about. A top global law firm. Okay, there's no trust. Again, unless I know you, let's say I'm thinking about you as a law firm. You have any clients I may have heard of? And? Would you be influenced, would you think more highly of this law firm if you knew that those were some of their clients? Anybody? Why aren't you borrowing trust like we do on our homepage from your top brands. I mean, I could throw up 100 more, whatever, Sears, Nestle, but this gets the point across, right? Just that subtle, not linked, no one can complain. I know you probably have compliance attorneys in the back saying, well, we can't use their trade dress without permission. But I would say, okay, we're recording this, but okay, cut the camera. Ask for forgiveness rather than permission. Unless there's harm, and you know this, they don't have an action anyway. They can ask you to take their logo off, and then you would, but leave the rest of them on. Okay, but trust marks in the form of really strong international brands are going to give you instant credibility. And then, hey, have you ever won any awards in your industry or had outside agencies say you're good? Yeah, #1 rated criminal defense or international tax or whatever. Those should also be badges down the right-hand side or something. So you have to hit me with the professionalism and the look and feel, but also trust in the form of client logos and industry awards and recognition from your peers, okay? So I'm not getting that. And then below that, you should be going to what are the things you can help me with? Why am I there for? Or sizes of companies, or industry specializations, or practice areas, okay? Intellectual property law, or new startups and formation, or whatever, okay? Or IPOs, or whatever your practice areas are. That's why I'm there. And instead you're saying, distressed debt outlook 2013. I mean, do I come to you for that? No, Standard & Poor's. Actually, no, don't go to them. I guess they're being sued by the federal government. But you know what I mean? You're like, this is just kind of like random little news. Or new deals. Well, you know what that is? That's another way of saying, we're tooting our own horn. That's not a value to me. Emerging market lawyer joins Bingham, New York. Wow, that's super exciting. How many attorneys do you have? 1,000? Ooh, now you have 1,001. I don't care. This is all just kind of self-promoting BS. The purpose of any big homepage of any site should be twofold. One is create trust so I don't leave. And that has to be done visually, instantly. Professionalism, outside authorities saying you're good, clients, things like that, testimonials. And then navigation. Give me a map of the world so it's clear to me what is the range of choices I have here, and get me off the home page. You shouldn't be talking at me on the home page, which is all this is. It's just us, us, us. We're great, we're great, we're great. Or here's some really pointed stuff that most of you don't care about. Don't guess. Get me off the home page and talk relevancy to me. Okay, I think that I've chewed up all my time. Yeah, so actually, if you're interested, you may already be a winner. If you had your review, come on up. I think we had about 10 folks. I'm going to have a bunch of other books to give away. Like, pass your cards up to the front. I'll grab them, and then I'll read off some names. Don't put your card in if you already got a review, because you guys get a book. Do we have any time for questions, or are we pretty much done?
We can go a couple minutes. I know some people might want to go on break right now and help yourself some coffee. That's fine. If you want to stay for a few more minutes. By the way, Tim's a great friend of the show. He's around all day today. He'll be around all
And I'm having the lunch with the experts. So
Lunch
if you
with the
haven't
experts
signed
today.
up yet, that's today as well.
Webfestglobal.com/dine. You can see if there's any seats left at his table. But definitely, let's give a quick round of applause. This has been amazing.
Thank you.
Couple questions, anybody? And if you want to excuse yourself for coffee, that's fine as well. I'll come around and collect the cards.
I think, yeah, we'll do them on the mic so everyone can hear. Yeah.
Like going back to that shop wiki example, like let's say you do filter it by the size of the heel, the size of the boot. What if you still have a long list of products?
Then create subcategories or other meaningful stuff. Color, material, is it leather, is it vinyl? I mean, people have distinct preferences in those areas. And if you have domain expertise, I don't mean domain name expertise, by the way, but knowledge of that area, then you should be my guide for it. So don't expose individual product level stuff until you get to a small enough set for me to do a reasonable comparison. Ideally, something that fits on one page.
For an email subscribe form on like a actual web page, and that was the one I wanted to have you review. But what are some best practices? Just if you're just getting their email address.
Okay, it's very simple. By the way, those of you that haven't read Seth Godin's great book, Permission Marketing, it's an oldie but a goodie. Go back and read it. Seth Godin, Godin, Permission Marketing. Basically, you have to interrupt someone to get their attention, but then once they're on your site, you have to get some kind of permission from them. And in your case, it's an email. you have to create more value than you're asking for. You have to create something that is a good bribe for them. So the thing I'd be thinking about is what's the bribe? Okay, get daily coupon deals, or free ebook, 7 biggest mistakes when choosing an international law firm. Okay, for an early stage person, that would be a good bribe to give up an email address. Ask for as little information on the form as possible. If it's just email to start the communication, that's good. But the way to think about it, you should have kind of a content map that maps to every stage of the buying process. So the early stage content you should be giving away, ungated. Then you might ask for an email. Then you might ask for a longer form. Or you might ask for information on the phone once you're talking to them, or in a follow-up form that you email them. Don't ask for as little as possible up front and give as much as possible in return. Okay? So unbalance the scales in your direction. I think we had a question over on this side, or maybe I think that gentleman might have left. Again, I thank you for your time. I'm around the rest of the day. Hopefully you got a nugget or two out of this. If you don't want to do this publicly, and you want to do a 45 or 90-minute review of your site, and we have something on our site called an express review. Sign up, and if you mention Webfest, I'll do the first couple myself. Hopefully that's an incentive. So after you order, let them know that you're from Webfest. All right, I think we're going to do just a quick drawing. I think I reviewed about 10 sites. I can give away 15 more books on top of that. So I'm just going to shuffle these in no particular order. If I call your name, come on over to the table and then I'll sign it. Louis Raphael Rosenthal Photography. Still in the room? Sorry, is that you, sir? Oh, okay, yeah, you don't have to come up here. Just, yeah, I'll meet you over there. Mike Siger from Domain Sherpa. You in the room? Okay, hey, Mike. Just because we had breakfast together doesn't mean that, no. Maoli Fry, I hope I didn't slaughter that. Traffic Z. Okay, great. Curve Marketing, David Bruno. David? Okay, just want to make sure you're here. Jorg Schneerman, okay. Kina Merdinian, okay. Kelly Campbell, Kelly here? Oh, she's right there. It says like she's a virtual person. Okay, got it. Let's see. Good. You don't have to grab the books. I'll come over and personalize them for you in a second. Russ Goodwin? Russ? Okay, great. Can S? Can, okay. Jacob Debilla? Or Debala, sorry. Jacob? I don't see Jacob. Nope. Must be present to win. Howard Hoffman? Okay. Tim Switzer? Okay. 6. Liz Zamorano? Liz? Okay. Katie Forsyth? Okay. And finally, Kevin Kopis. Okay, great. Thanks, everybody. And again, I welcome any conversation throughout the rest of the day.
Thank you, Tim.
My pleasure.
Okay, everybody. Unfortunately, you get a short break. We have to be back here at 11 o'clock sharp. Thank you very much.